Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Zach here, aka CabZGT, bringing you a little recap of Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 7, titled Dangerous Debt. If you guys have not watched this yet, recommend clicking off, go watch it. Otherwise, if you'd like to kind of hear about it, or if you just kind of want to watch the video and know what happened without watching the episode, that's cool here too. So basically, in this episode, a lot happened for nothing to really happen progressing the story forward. It was pretty much a good building episode, setting up some things for what's to come, but gives us more understanding of Rafa and Trace and why they're not the biggest fans of the Jedi. Makes Ahsoka kind of realize what's going on. So the episode picks up right where the last one left off. These guys got arrested at the end of the last episode after ditching out on the spice run with the Pikes. So they're locked up in the with the Pikes. Um, Basically Ahsoka is guilt tripping Rafa for, kind of the spice wasn't going to be used for good things with the Pike Syndicate. And so she's guilt tripping Rafa, and Rafa ends up talking about how well, she accused Ahsoka of being a Jedi, and Ahsoka's like, "What if I am?" And like they're like, "Oh, don't even joke about that." And it turns into the story from when the Jedi were pursuing Zero the Hutt earlier in the Clone Wars, and a Jedi had to make a decision to not land on a landing site that was very populated, and instead crash landed into what I believe they said was a building. Long story short, that happened to be Rafa and Trace's parents' house, which their parents got them out in time, but they ended up dying from that. And the Jedi that was driving the carrier said to Rafa something about, "I had to make the decision, but don't worry, the Force will always be with you." And so this is builds upon why Trace and Rafa have a very distaste for the Jedi, and Ahsoka immediately understood that, with her walking away from the Order and everything. And like she was like, obviously they don't know she was a Jedi or is a Jedi or a Force sensitive human being or Tortuga. Um, so it kind of struck home with her. Well, then the episode progresses on. They torture Rafa, try to get information from her of where the spice is. Well, it's floating out in space, so that's gonna do a whole lot for you. But so they bring her back, and she's like basically passed out in the cell. They take Trace. Trace ends up putting up a fight and getting away. In the meantime, Ahsoka uses the Force, opens up their cell, and gets out. And after some shenanigans with Trace getting around, letting some inmates out to help her out, they end up getting meet up. They're out in the city. Well, right before they get to the city, Ahsoka secretly used the Force to help Trace jump across the gap on a bridge that was separating, and she jumped over them when they didn't think she was gonna make it. But yeah, she used the Force. They didn't notice somehow. Like, works out pretty good. Um, Long story short, while they're going through the city, they split up to Ahsoka's got to go open the gate, and the rest are gonna keep and then Trace and Rafa are gonna keep them busy until they can get out. Ahsoka goes up there, whoops the fuck out some Pike's asses. Rafa and Trace are doing alright, but all of a sudden they get arrested, and Ahsoka ends up running away. Well, on top of the roof, there's three Mandalorians. I believe they're night owls watching them, and they recognize, like, thinking that Ahsoka might be the Jedi they've seen before. Well, I went on IMDb, and I've heard a couple other people say this. And I had suspicion myself, but I couldn't remember her name, to be honest with you. One of those three Mandalorians is Bo-Katan, and that's gonna really lead us into that Ahsoka versus Maul. Should be in about 3 or 4 episodes. Um, Square off we've seen in the trailer. So I think that's our bridge there for the Mandalorian, the CJ Mandalore. We're gonna see basically where Maul isn't gonna be in control anymore, and we get to see what led Bo-Katan going into Star Wars Rebels. So it'll be really cool to finally get that far. But long story short, how all this ends up going is the Pikes put on a little thing out in the open that they're gonna kill Rafa and Trace. Ahsoka comes to save them. She saves them. They go out the gate. It was a big trap. They're right back in the cell. Basically, where this episode started out is where it's ended up. We just had some minor story building points in there. We get a more understanding for the sisters. We see that the Mandalorians are getting sprinkled in now, so we're gonna start getting teased with that. We're gonna get ready for what's to come. So, taking a look, that was just episode 7. Episode 8 is titled Together Again, and the little like tease sentence they give you on it says Ahsoka bargains for the sisters' freedom and then makes a startling discovery. That I'm not so sure what's going on, but based off Together Again, there's a couple different things. Either Ahsoka is going to be met up with Anakin or Rex or both. That's really what I'm thinking. Together Again, Ahsoka has had really good relationships with both of those people when it's come to Clone Wars. And we do know, based off footage that wasn't finished from before this was done, that Anakin and Ahsoka had met up, and that she was taking her to Rex to lead them in one of these fights with the Mandalorians to help take it back from the crime syndicate that the army that Maul built. So yeah, this episode, I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. It was definitely filler for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm just a fiend for Star Wars. The movie just finally came out on Blu-ray and stuff. I still need to go pick that up, but I'm just really excited to see how this all plays out. Get an understanding of what led the Mandalorians to where they were in Rebels, and also when it got to the Mandalorian series on Disney Plus. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit a like button if you're digging it. Anyways, peace out, and we'll see you next time.